Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and bow number 5 for our 2024 Archery Talk Bow Hunting Shootout has arrived. This is the APA Black Mamba 33. Now, APA, if you don't know, is a Canadian company. I'm a Canadian guy, so I'm happy to shoot one of these bows from time to time. It's actually been 5-6 years or so since the last time I had a chance to really get my hands on an APA bow long term. So I'm looking forward to playing with this. Let's talk specs first of all. This bow has an axle length of 33 3/8 inches. An IBO rated speed of 345 feet per second. That's plenty fast. Now keep in mind, APA has 360 and 365 rated bows. They chose to send this one instead. It's also got a very generous brace height for a bow of this rated speed. The 6 7/8 inches, almost 7 inches of brace height for a bow at this speed is unusual. So I'm very curious how this is going to perform through the chronograph. I'm going to run that through tonight. If you don't know much about APA archery, you're in for a bit of a whirlwind with this as far as what comes on the bow. These bows are full of little features that other bow manufacturers have never really toyed with those ideas before. I'll go through a couple here. I'm not going to do them all because there are really, you have to look at their website, you'll see all there is to mention. The most obvious one, if you look here, is this fang, they call that. So APA is Black Mamba. They're a very snake-themed company, so there's your little fang there. You can just yeet that on top of like a branch in a tree, and that's going to just hang there for you, without really needing a special bow hanger if you're moving around. They've got this cam lock pin that's built right in the bow right here, and you can kind of loosen this handle over here, pop out the cam lock pin, draw the bow back a little bit, and then just put this in here and it'll lock the bow in place so you can work on your string, put in a peep, do whatever you need to do, all without using a bow press. Pretty handy, a great overall feature if you don't have access to a press or you're working on your bow at home or something like that. This same cam lock pin also serves another purpose, and that it's got a center shot mark on your bow. So you put this thing in here when you're shooting your bow, and it's got a little mark there that gives you the exact center shot of the bow. So a pretty cool feature. Again, lots of little things these guys have. They've got soft touch armor on here. So this is an aluminum bow, but it doesn't feel like an alloy bow because it's got this soft touch. It almost feels like a rubberized texture. It makes it a little quieter in case anything wraps against it. Like, it doesn't sound like metal on metal so much. It's also maybe a little warmer feeling in those cold weather hunts. God, there's so many things. There's a bow winch, a built-in bow winch on this bow. So you loosen this here, you maybe tie this to your belt, go up a tree, and then you can fish it back over and then lock that back into place. That way you're gonna be able to take your bow with you without having to bring any extra tools or anything like that along for the ride. Other features, you've got a broadhead sharpener, you've got a broadhead wrench, you've got a knock wrench. There's literally a million little things. There's a carry handle on here to make it easier to walk around with your bow in the woods or going to your stand or wherever you're going to go. Another great feature on this bow is this little button up here, which you use if you're using like a limb activated drop weight rest. So this way you can tie that right through here. You don't need any tape on here or anything like that, and it should reduce any torque because it's dead center of the limbs. That's a nice little feature you can play with if you're going to shoot that kind of a limb-driven rest. And yeah, the APA guys have really loaded this thing in with technology. So my job tonight is to set this thing up, get it ready to shoot, run it through the chronograph. We'll talk about draw cycle, and we'll get just our first impressions. So let me get to work, and I'll come right back with the finished product. All right, guys, the Black Mamba 33 is set up and ready to shoot. I have this one outfitted with a black gold whitetail slider sight, a Ripcord Max arrow rest, and a Hamskea Raptor Peep 1/4 inch. This is my favorite hunting peep. I had to buy a few more because I've got a bunch more hunting bows coming in to test this year, more than I've ever had. So I've just lowered my bank account by getting some more of those for myself to play with this year. Setup and tuning on the APA was as easy as can be. There's some timing lines on the inside of the riser here, and there was already a D-loop set up from APA when they did some of their own testing. More on that in a little while. I just replaced their D-loop with my own and moved the arrow rest until it was running perfectly level through these kind of guidelines over here. That made things super easy to set up. And then I used the cam lock pin, which you can put right in here on the inside of the riser, and it's got a little mark that runs, they'll show you right where the center of your arrow should be. I did that, set up for me absolutely perfect. All I had to do from there was some minor yoke twists, and I got everything I wanted to out of this tune in the early going. It's the first night, keep all that in mind. I should have mentioned earlier, this bow has a multi-position, basically rear stabilizer almost on here. So it just slides along here. You could add weight to it if you want, and you can move it in and out on the slide, and then you can just lock it into place in whatever position you feel comfortable with. And it works you know, as well as you want it to. Right out of the box, my very first group of arrows after I had this set up and the peep tied in was as good of a group of arrows as I can shoot with a hunting bow. I was at 20 yards and I sent 3 arrows down range and they slapped against each other, knocked a fletch off one of them. I've got a little video here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I'm far from a pro level shooter, so when I can shoot a group like that on a bow I've never touched before, the first arrows, again, as soon as I tied in the peep, I'm over the moon with how this bow feels to shoot, and never really let me down after that again. I shot 50, 60 arrows tonight, just getting this thing comfortable with this bow, and it is an absolute charmer. I love shooting this bow. It's more accurate than I was expecting out of a hunting bow. The valley is a hair on the short side, which I think helps me as a person who normally shoots a target bow, feeling like I have to be a little bit more active. It's not jumpy like you would expect from like a super aggressive speed bow, but just enough to keep me honest at the wall. It's only 80% let off, not 85 or 90 like some other bows offer out there. So take that for what it will. Speaking of the draw, let's run through a video I shot just a few minutes ago, kind of talking about the draw cycle. I'll draw this bow, I'll let it down a couple times and show you exactly what I think of it. The Black Mamba 33 is set up right now at 70 pounds of draw weight on the dot and 30 inches pretty much bang on in draw length. Maybe an eighth off, but it's as close to 30 as I'm able to get this thing. And let's draw it back for you. And what I was surprised about is this does not draw like a 345 foot per second IBO bow. It is buttery smooth. It might be like a slightly shortish valley. It's very reasonable to let down. Again, nothing about this feels like a 345 IBO bow. Buttery smooth draw, like the slightest hump, but not much to consider really. And just, I should also mention, this bow is feather light in the hand. I did not weigh this ahead of time, but it is, I would imagine, the lightest bow I've shot this year. So we'll draw it one more time. I'll try to walk you through the process a little bit, but super smooth, not too bad to let down. And yeah, just, you know, this is as easy to draw as any bow I've had this year, I would say. Right on line with the Hoyt and the Matthews. And it is a pleasure to shoot. So in that video, I kind of mentioned that this bow doesn't feel like a 345 IBO bow, and my findings through the chronograph kind of solidified that thought. Now, when APA sent this to me, they sent a card in there saying that it was shot, it was measured on their chronograph at 341 feet per second. I did not get those same results. I have not touched this bow. The draw length is in the exact same spot. The draw stops are in the exact same spot. I made some minor tweaks to the micro tune over here, just really minor, just to get it, you know, feeling a little bit better in my hands. But that was all I've done. And so when I ran this through the chronograph, again, set up at 70 pounds and 30 inches with a 350 grain arrow, I saw 328 feet per second every time I shot that small arrow. When I shot a heavier 430 grain arrow, I saw 298 feet per second, 299 feet per second. So plenty fast out of an arrow that fast. Again, I would probably move more to like a 470 grainish arrow. I'm going to try to set some of those up in a little while and see if I can get some that'll maybe knock that down to 285-ish for me. That's kind of my sweet spot. But that's more on that in a little while. I should mention, when I tied in this peep sight, what I liked doing was using that cam lock pin. I just went to the line where I was shooting, and then I would just kind of, you know, put this bow down on my foot and then open it up a little bit with the string and put the cam lock pin in, and then make small peep adjustments until I had it set up right. I didn't have to run back and forth to a bow press. It was as easy as can be. Why every bow manufacturer doesn't have something like that, I don't know. I had that on the last APA I shot, again, 5-6 years ago. Loved it then, love it now. It's a great feature. I mean, realistically, you can use anything. You know, you could, technically speaking, use a screwdriver and set up in the cam on your bow. These things just have little slots for this cam lock pin, which I like an awful lot. I think right now that's about all I have for you, Archery Talk. I'm super happy with how this bow is shooting right now. Really, really liking it. I will follow up with a long-term review in the next couple weeks, couple months. Once I get everything in, I'll have the shootout video with all of the hunting bows I've got this year. I'm hoping again for 7 or maybe even 8 of them if everybody comes through. I've already had one brand not come through. And so I'll find all that out in the next little while. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel an awful lot. and we'll see you again soon.